Hello, my friend. Today I'm sharing my Halloween Raven paint party painting, step by step. Follow along while you paint and feel free to share your result in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. So I'm starting today with the background. This is the sky behind the moon and behind the pumpkin. I'm basically making what looks to be a snowman here to start. And I'm using Paynes gray for this part. If you would like to follow along, check out the description to see the supplies that I used. So I'm going to fill in this entire outer area, including the bottom. And I am using just a little bit of water with my acrylic paint, depending on what kind of acrylic paint you have. If it's more liquid, then you don't have to water it down as much. But the reason I do that is because it helps the paint blend out on the canvas. If you paint it too dry, then it won't spread around the canvas as well, and it doesn't blend as well. And then I go back over it to blend it out. The next thing is the moon, and I started with yellow here. I think I went a little bright, so I'm covering it up with some white to make it a little less bright. You can also use orange or even red here for the moon, or even blue. The reason I'm using yellow is because it contrasts better with blue or gray. It's up to you. Use the colors you want. Once I finish the moon, I'm going to start putting in the branches that are covering up the moon. And I'm just covering up part of it. I'm not going to cover up the whole thing because I want to leave some space for my raven once I get to that spot. I use a smaller brush for this, and I kind of wiggle the brush a little bit and turn it as I'm going. This gives it more of a scary tree look. After that, I'm going to start coloring in my pumpkin. Right now I'm just using a plain orange. And I can use this time to shape my pumpkin a little bit better. If there's some blue or some background that's showing through, I can go over it. The next step is painting the crevices or the ridges in the pumpkin, and I'm using the Paynes gray on this. I'm using my smaller brush for this. It's not just a solid line. It will be blended in, and this blending gives it more dimension. If it was just a solid line, it would make it look more flat. So this gives you more of a three-dimensional look. Once we get the lines in, I'm going to start with some more shading and highlights. I'm starting with a light orange yellow. I use a little bit of white, a little orange, and a little yellow to mix this color. You don't want it too light because this is a mid-tone, so go easy on the white. And I'm just going on the ridges close to the lines, but not too close. This is going to give the ridges more of a rounded effect. Next, I'm using some straight up yellow to get more of a highlight there. So I'm just going on the edge of the ridge to give it a more rounded look. And because the ridges are going in both directions on one side and the other, that middle ridge, I'm going to paint in the highlight on the whole ridge. And then when I get to the other side, the highlight will be on the other side of the ridge. And then I'm going to go back in again with a lighter yellow. I mix a little bit of white with my yellow to lighten it up even more. And these highlights are mainly on the top of the pumpkin because the light is coming from up above, so we don't want it to be going down underneath the pumpkin. But now I'm going back in with a little bit of that Paynes gray and just blending in and darkening up those ridges at the top a little bit. Then I'm coming back in with some orange, some of the dark orange, the solid orange, and I am just giving it a little more contrast next to the gray lines to round it a little bit more, and I'm blending that orange into the yellow that's there and the gray line. So now I am putting in the ground below the pumpkin so it doesn't look like it's just floating in midair. Because it's a nighttime scene, the ground is just going to be black. It's the same color that I'm using for the tree branches. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I decided to put another branch in here just to even it out a little bit better. Again, with the branches, you want to make them a little bit twisty to make it look more Halloweenish. Putting in some stars in the sky. I'm using the smallest size brush that I have. I'm using white and I'm just making little dots on the canvas in a random fashion. If you wanted to, you could put a constellation in there. Really good with constellations, so I'm just putting in random stars. Next, it's time for the jack-o'-lantern. And this is where you can take some creative license and make your own face on your jack-o'-lantern. I'm trying to make my jack-o'-lantern look a little scary, so I'm making the eyes tilted up a little bit. I'm using black for this as well. Maybe some overlap on the tree branch, but since it's all black, it doesn't really matter too much. They'll blend together anyway. The hard part is getting the second eye to match the first eye. Just do your best. You can always adjust both eyes a little bit. Once you finish the face, then it's time to put the raven in. What I did was I drew a raven on a piece of paper and then I transferred it to my canvas. You can use transfer paper, or what I do is I fill in the back of the page with pencil and then I put the piece of paper on the canvas and trace over the drawing. This transfers the pencil mark, the pencil line onto the canvas. And then it's easy. You just have to fill in the line. Because this is a silhouette, you just draw the outside lines and then you fill it in. And that is it. You can add in some other things if you want. You could add an owl up in the tree, or maybe even another raven up on the tree. Also, don't forget to sign your name on your painting. Thank you for joining me. Please hit subscribe if you liked this video. I would love to see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.